Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. So I want to start off just real quick by saying last stream that I started, I don't think anyone saw this, but I want to correct the record and just say something real quick, just in case if I do gain a following, somebody goes back and clips it. So I just want to cover my ass. So I talked about Polana Productions briefly, and I used a word that I shouldn't have to describe his videos. I said he was cringe. So I want to take that back real quick, just because this early on, I don't know if I want to get in hot water with anybody at this point. Like I want to have conversations about wrestling, and I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to turn any, turn people away right off the bat. So with that said, Polana's fine. Should not have bad word choice on my part. So I'll take the responsibility for that. So that's that. Next thing I want to do is I want to recap all the Vince McMahon stuff, and fortunately for us, I think Axios did this nicely for us. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Oh, I really got to do something about this lighting. You see this? Look, bring, 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 bring. Yeah, real bad. So effectively, I just want to go through this article real quick. Uh, Vince McMahon's sudden and chaotic return to the WWE follows his disgraced exit last year is setting up to be media's juiciest story of 2023, and we're not even 2 weeks into the new year. Why it matters. WWE enjoyed one of the most successful runs on Wall Street last year, in part because investors saw Mr. McMahon's exit as a takeover opportunity. In returning to negotiate WWE's sale on his own terms, McMahon has crafted a storyline worthy of the company's flagship WrestleMania or SmackDown events. Just days after announcing his return, McMahon's daughter, Stephanie McMahon, resigned as co-CEO and chairman of the board of WWE, leaving former talent agency exec Nick Khan as the sole CEO. McMahon, who was simultaneously named chairman of the board, had said just days before that WWE has an exceptional management team in place, and I do not intend for my return to have any impact on their roles, duties, or responsibilities. Sources told Axios that Stephanie McMahon and her husband Paul Triple H Levesque, the company's chief content officer and a retired pro wrestler, had opposed the sale. That's a new piece of information from today. Um, as controlling shareholder of the company, McMahon was able to elect himself as chairman through a written consent order. In doing so, he also appointed former WWE co-presidents Michelle Wilson and George Barrios to the board. Yeah, so he also got sued for this. I don't know if it's part of this article, but we'll read something on that also. He One of the investors is suing him. So I don't know. I feel like these lawsuits never go anywhere, but we'll see. Sorry, interruption. Yeah. So he was effectively blackmailing the company. Like if like he said like if basically like if you're not selling this company without me, and you got to put me back on the board if you want that. So yeah, I'm just gonna sip of water here. Sorry, thirsty. Where was I? Adding to the shakeup, WWE said directors Joe Ellen, Leon Dillon, Jeffrey Speed, and Alan Wexler were ousted from WWE's board. I don't know if ousted means fired I know some quit, and others were just flat out like, what does ousted mean? Moments later, the company issued a press release saying two more board members, Ignis Lahoud and Manjit Singh, resigned effective immediately. Like, oh, we're done with this shit. Um, Stephanie McMahon was elevated to co-CEO alongside WWE President Nick Khan after her father's tumultuous exit last year. McMahon announced his retirement last summer, just weeks after the Wall Street Journal first reported that McMahon had secretly paid off a former employee with whom he allegedly had an affair. Yeah. Yeah, there was more like that came after that, I think, right? After a months-long investigation into alleged misconduct by McMahon, the WWE eventually concluded that he made nearly $20 million of previously undisclosed payments, most of which went towards settling sexual misconduct claims. Ouch. Even during his brief exit from the company, he ran for 4 decades. McMahon held all the power as WWE's controlling shareholder. Yeah, and there was also like that report of him feeling like he shouldn't have listened to the people close to him. And it's like the people that are close to him are his family. So I don't know who gets closer than that. So I would love to see like the private conversations between him and Stephanie and Triple H, but yeah, we can only speculate. Um, no deal was ever going to happen without his blessing, and his comeback, while tumultuous, has been well received by Wall Street. WWE stock has jumped more than 20% since McMahon's return, pushing the company's market cap over to $6.6 billion, up from roughly $4 billion just a few years ago. Rumors are swirling over who will jump in to buy the company. Yeah, so this we'll get into all this in a little bit. Let me tweet out that I'm live. Hang on a minute. Okay. Got to do that. Axios has previously reported that potential buyers for WWE include Comcast, Disney, Amazon, and even Apple. So I think Comcast is the most likely buyer just because they have all this stuff on Peacock already. So I don't see why they wouldn't want to buy the rest of it. Unconfirmed reports that already begun to circulate that the company reached a deal to be acquired by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, the region's sovereign wealth fund. At least one reporter batted the rumor down. Earlier posts from journalists discussing the news were deleted. Yeah, this is why I sticking to punditry and not like just reporting news as quick as I can because of things like this. I mean, Twitter was going crazy with stories about this. Memes too. And that's cool. Hang on, let me oops. I have the preview on. Yeah, so and needless to say, a lot of people. I saw Sean Ross Sapp and JD from NY were fighting. I'd love to look at that again. But yeah, lots of tweets about that. I feel like it would have upset too many people. I mean, it's still possible, but I don't think it was. Like I read that it was middle of the year was their target, but then it's like WWE sold to Saudi Arabia. It's like that was fast. But it's untrue at this time. Something else I was gonna say. Oh, the cons. Yeah, the cons were listed as a buyer. Let's read up on this. Cons. Okay, let's try this. Cons. Cons WWE. Let's see. There was news about this. Come on. Oh, here we go. Tony and Shahid Khan. I'm not going to Ringside News. I'm sorry. Let's do this one. Published by Dow Jones. Barron's. What the fuck? Barron's, published by Dow Jones, has an update on WWE being up for sale. According to to Barron's report, the Khan family, including AEW president and CEO Tony Khan and father Shahid Khan, is that how you pronounce his name, Shahid? Are among the pool of potential buyers interested in buying WWE. Shahid Khan is co-owner of AEW and owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and English soccer club Fulham. The Khans would reportedly like to find a financial partner in order to acquire WWE in the event of a sale. The report states the following. All Elite Wrestling, top rival to WWE, led by Tony Khan and family, is in the pool of potential buyers for WWE. A person close to the potential transaction told Barron's, adding that the Khans will likely look for a financial partner to acquire the asset. Tony Khan's father, Shahid Khan, co-owner of AEW, already owns the football team, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the English soccer. Okay, we're just rereading the same thing. I don't see this happening. I think it's hogwash, but it's wrestling, so crazy things have happened. I wanted to talk more about the lawsuit, but there's that. Vince Chintz McMahon lawsuit. Sued by shareholder. Bleacher. Let's go. At least one WWE shareholder isn't happy with Vince McMahon's return to the company. Per Mike Lennard of Bloomberg Law, a class action lawsuit filed against McMahon in the state of Delaware accuses him of illegally using his majority voting control to oust 3 board members and replace them with people loyal to him and push through changes that would impose his will on the board in WWE. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, how could he just do that and like remove board members? I don't. It doesn't sound like it. If it doesn't sound legal, well, a lot of things don't sound legal, but this is like especially egregious. Like the guy's just like super unhinged. Like he I feel like he like never retired in his mind. He was always waiting. I think he was just waiting for like the heat to die down, you know, till it's mellow enough that he could finagle his way back in. And like we said, he regrets stepping down to begin with. So, like I think like a lot of people thought he was gonna die in the chair or die working like on the job. Like it's the middle of a Raw taping, he croaks. Um, then when he announced his retirement, we thought, okay, he got sunk. I guess he's 77. He's got all this money. He'll be fine. But no, he was not fine. He was crying in his mansion. Could not work. Really sad. But now he's back. So the game plan now for him, I guess, is to find a buyer, take the company private, get back into that creative role. I think that means a lot to him. I think it means a lot to Vince being in that creative role, even though he's dog water at this point in his life. So that would be bad, but we'll see what happens. McMahon announced his retirement in the July after Joe Palazzolo and Ted Mann of the Wall Street Journal reported WWE was investigating an allegation of the 77-year-old paid a secret $3 million settlement to a former female employee with whom he had an affair. Ooh. The company's investigation also uncovered multiple separate agreements related to misconduct claims made by different female employees against McMahon and John Laurinaitis. Then WWE's head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. People power. Per Ariel Zilber of the New York Post, WWE said in an SEC filing McMahon paid out a total of $14.6 million that were classified as unrecorded expenses and revised previous financial statements to reflect the expenditures. McMahon officially returned to WWE as a board member on January 6th. Very scary date to do that. He stormed the board. He also elected former co-presidents Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, who left the company in January 2020. On the same day McMahon's return was announced, Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics posted a screenshot of an email from the WWE board of directors that opposed him coming back to the company. Yeah, nobody wants him back, but he's unhinged. We're not gonna read this letter. Get fucked. Since McMahon maintained a majority of shares in the company after his retirement announcement, he always had the power to return by electing himself to the board. How do you elect yourself to a board? How does that even work? I'm not an expert. But there's something about it. In a statement released on January 6th, McMahon said his return is timed to help WWE fully capitalize on its upcoming media rights negotiations. WWE's television contracts with NBC Universal and Fox are set to expire in October 2024. The bidding war. The statement also noted McMahon's return would not impact the roles, duties, or responsibilities of WWE's current management team, including co-CEO and chairwoman Stephanie McMahon and Chief Content Officer Triple H. Stephanie McMahon, who was appointed to her current role following her father's retirement, announced her resignation to the company on Twitter. My return will not impact current positions. McMahon's return also comes amid rumors WWE is up for sale. There were rumblings on Tuesday that the WWE sold to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, and will go back to being a private company for the first time since 1999. Combat Sports insider Ariel Helwani reported on Wednesday there is no deal in place at this precise moment to sell WWE to the Saudi Arabia PIF or any entity, but the organization is still exploring all options right now. So that is, I think, all we've got for this news. It was also the report that Triple H and Stephanie opposed the sale. So I want to watch a video from Corny on the cons buying WWE, because my take on all this is, and I think this goes for a lot of people though. You can let me know. Everybody's problem with Vince was his creative decisions, like, and the cuts also, but just his philosophy on what wrestling is really changed in the last 5 to 10 years. It's really just the quality of the show is down. Like, maybe he's gotten comfortable. I really, I don't know. Like, that's everyone's fear. He gets back into that creative role, and Triple H, we know how good he did with NXT when it was good, and it's at this time it's better. Like, it hasn't. I don't think it's been long enough that we can like make a concrete statement on Triple H's direction, but I'd say it's better. For one thing, and the morale is up. Also, Vince sort of just Vince was very indecisive. He would change stuff at the last minute. It would frustrate people. He wouldn't give people a fair shot. He would, get bored of somebody and then stop using them. It's really I don't know, it's really up in the air. But I personally wouldn't want him to come back just because of the reasons I just mentioned. And I think a lot of people fall into that, category. So that's my take on that. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know. Right now, I want to play a video by Corny because I'm always, he'll, listening to him, he'll be fun. I want to, hang on a minute. Shit. Hang on. Shit, what the fuck? Damn it. No, don't look at that. Don't look at that. There it is. Haha. Gotcha. All right. Here we go. I think we'll play Stardew Valley. I'm not far in or good at Stardew Valley. We're just gonna play it just so I have something to do when I'm listening to this. So yeah, and I'll pause periodically to give my take on it. So yeah, here you go. Get fucked.
Well, let's get another question here, Jim.
A
popular topic, one that is captivating some fantasy wrestling fans. The idea of Tony Khan, or more appropriately Shad Khan, purchasing WWE.
Shad.
Oh, come on.
Lots of questions have come in about potential buyers, but an inordinate amount have come in about...
Oh, God. Hang on. Sorry about that. The music's always super loud when you first start this game. God almighty. Yeah. I call my farm Brillo pad, courtesy of Satoru Brojo, my friend Joe. Genius man. Alright, I think the volume's at a good level now. Alright, here we go.
The idea that Tony should, or that Tony could, or that Tony would...
God, it's still too loud. Hang on.
So, without dismissing it and laughing about it, what are your thoughts on the Khans as potential buyers of WWE?
Okay, in all honesty, and I think we mentioned this when we did the breaking news on Vince first coming back.
This is one pixel.
Shad Khan was willing to give his son his inheritance early so he could see him enjoy spending it. But I don't even know if Shad... And Shad has other children, doesn't he? But I don't know if even he is prepared to say, okay, let's get into a $6 billion deal, Tony. You've been doing so well with what you got. Because who knows what the bottom line of AEW is? Because I know a lot of people like to talk about, oh, well, they've done $1 million gate here and there and everywhere, and the TV rights fees. But as we've mentioned also, besides the fact that they've spent, by their own admission, tens of millions of dollars on the video game that will be out shortly in stores near you, the 100 and something wrestlers under contract, and the amount of money that they spend on their production of not only the Dynamite but also Rampage, and the YouTube shows aren't free just because we scoff at them. They've spent an incredible amount of money. They've taken in an incredible amount of money, and who knows what's what, but that doesn't mean, number one, that Shad Khan is going to say, okay, I'm ready to pony up $6 billion all at the same time. And then what would they do with it? Because, again, this is so far above.
Also, doesn't that make wrestling like a monopoly again? Aren't we like back where we started?
And this is not even a knock on him. It's far above me, and I've worked there longer than he has, which would be at all. So far above Tony's level of expertise, comfort, or competence to run a company of that size. And yes, I know all the employees would come over, but he's still got to tell them what to do and decide which ones to listen to and which ones not. And then they wouldn't sell it to him because, again, whether it's the WWE or whether it's Sony Pictures or whatever major entertainment entity, yeah, you might want Warner Brothers Discovery to buy it, or Disney to buy it, or NBC Universal to buy it, or whatever. But just because some fucking clown that won the lottery had $6 billion, would you say, okay, well, he's outbid Warner Brothers Discovery or NBC Universal?
It makes me think, like, does Vince care at this point? Like, there's a weird part of me that feels like Vince thinks that nobody, if it's not him running WWE, then no one can. Or something like that. Like, he'll sell it, take it private, and just sit on it until he dies. You know? Because, like, Triple H and Stephanie did not want it to be sold. Somebody else's problem.
By $200 million, so we're going to sell it to the fucking guy that's going to bring $6 billion in a shoebox. And then good luck to him after that. We don't give a shit. No, this would be so far and above over all of their heads on how to run a company like that. The employees at a not only
that'd be 3 wrestling companies Tony Khan owns.
The highest level, but also fairly well down to the middle of the company, would be more experienced, more well-versed, and more organized in running a business than what the owner would be at that point. One thing we can't say about Vince is that he doesn't know how everything works in that company, who does everything, who's responsible for everything, and the fucking, the wrestling fans get mad because his booking went insane or just becoming stuff to please himself over the last however long. But has anybody ever said Vince McMahon's an idiot when it comes to business? So
energy.
No, it's ridiculous. It's just fucking ridiculous to think that would happen or that they would even probably let it happen. What do you think?
What do I think about what?
How much do you scoff at the idea of the Khans ponying up $6 billion for the WWE?
I scoff at it because, again, we're talking a lot about businesses as opposed to individuals. I think Shad Khan is worth somewhere between, depending on the estimate, 8 and...
Shahid Khan, is he not part of a company? Does he not have a company that could, like... He could say, "Oh, WWE's bought by the Shahida organization or something." It would just be an individual purchase.
$12 billion. The Jaguars. Hold on, let me look up.
So right
fucking
there, I'm going to give
tools.
half of what I've got for this one business to make my son happy.
The Jaguars, the NFL franchise they own, well, he owns and his son owns because of being his son. The franchise value of the Jaguars for 2022 is $3.48 billion. So WWE, because they're going to want ridiculous money, and I personally don't think it's worth it.
True.
They're going to want almost double.
True. The value of the value of the company and wrestling in general is not as popular. It's nowhere near as popular as we created The Rock, we created Batista. It's like, great, bro. It's not a valuable entity anymore. It just isn't.
We assume what we've been hearing, what the NFL team cost.
Well, and now, wait a minute. Was that what the NFL team cost, or that's
what it's worth?
valued
What it's valued?
Excuse me.
What it's valued at? Yes.
So the point is, they just don't have $3.8 billion laying around in the Jaguars' checking account. That's just what the valuation is of all of the various things coming into play, and that's probably high.
Do you think this is going to end up being like Turner Broadcasting buying WCW?
That's what I'm afraid of.
It's hard to think of too many other roads. And let's be honest, as we're talking about the sale of WWE and the state of AEW, and they've had a couple of good Dynamites, there is a chance that in the future we'll look back at this as the beginning of the conversation about the death of professional wrestling.
Well, and that's what I'm worried about. And I wish they'd wait a few more years, because then I'll be completely retired and they can do whatever they want to the business. But Turner Broadcasting bought WCW for many of the same reasons a conglomerate would buy the WWE today, only the reasons are magnified. Back then, it was one of their highest rated programs, if not their highest rated. They wanted all the content. They wanted to keep it on their station. And they were seeing the touring business that was healthy and thinking, well, healthy for the time. If we're behind it, it'll get much bigger than this. And so they saw an opportunity to have their biggest programming and in-house and make money with it and blah, blah, blah. Problem became they didn't know anything about wrestling when they were confronted with one of those wrestling things where you say, well, you can't do that. You do it like that. Well, why? And they didn't get it, and they ran off the talent, and they fucking ran off the fans. And a year after they bought it, the houses were 25% of what they had been. And the TV ratings were down because the talent was disgruntled and everything was sideways because they had all the money, but they couldn't call the main shots. That needs somebody with wrestling experience. And so, yes, Triple H and Stephanie are still there and hopefully would be there. But if some unknown entity buys that, the WWE, they control not only the largest company in the world, but the largest by 4 or 5 times at least. And, AEW is the only thing even close in this country, and they're not close at all. And, what happens if they fuck the whole thing up? Then there you go. But Vince will still have his check for $5 or $6 billion.
And he'll be running it. That's what it's going to be. Buy the company, give me all this money, and then hire me back to be either the executive consultant or the CEO.
Shit.
Well, at that point, then, I wouldn't be as worried if Vince was running it and a big conglomerate owned it as if I would the big conglomerate owned it and they were telling the people what to do with it. Because no matter what Vince would do, it wouldn't be as bad as we've seen in the past. Every time that some outside businessman, somebody that's made a lot of money in some other endeavor or a major corporation buys a wrestling company, it's fucking brutal on the mental state of all the wrestling people trying to tell the business people what the fuck's going on. And it generally leads to strife and chaos and a downturn in business.
There's a blacksmith. There he is.
Who do you want to see by WWE?
Question. That's a question.
Knowing it has to be sold because it's going to be sold.
Mike Mondo.
Come on, people say you're too nice to Mike Mondo. This is evidence of it. You think he should buy WWE?
I think he should. Well, he'll take good care of it. He'd work hard and give a shit about the wrestling business. I mean, it's not like that there's anybody. Bill Watts ain't gonna do that. Eddie Graham's dead. Most of the great wrestling minds are gone. I don't give a fuck. One major conglomerate not in the wrestling business would be just as likely to fuck something up in the wrestling business as any other one. So if you're talking about an outside wrestling entity, which is the only type of organization that's going to have that kind of money, I can't think that why anyone would be worse than the other unless you just found a really stupid person in charge of that business. But yeah.
Yeah. Who would I want to buy? I feel like Comcast would be the obvious choice for me. Just because they own their fucking content library already, and I mean, what could possibly change? Like I don't know if I see Comcast meddling in the WWE's business. So we'll see what happens, you know. I don't see Disney doing it. I really don't. Like who wants to buy a wrestling company? Wrestling is not popular as popular as it used to be. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done the Vince thing to death until something new comes out. Maybe next week something will be different. Right now, I want to address something. The AEW women's match from yesterday. It was Toni Storm and Saraya versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. It was a decent match. I think around the middle there they begin to lose people. You could always tell if the match is doing well or not based on like the fan reaction. And towards the middle there was kind of quiet, but overall it wasn't the worst match ever. But the biggest problem for me was that the baby faces there was no reason to cheer the baby faces in this match. And it's even funnier in the sense that there was no reason to boo the heels either. Like everything about the status of the performers involved is complete opposite to what the company wants. Like the reactions are opposite. And the reason should be obvious. Like, let's talk about Britt Baker real quick. Adam Cole, earlier in the show, put Britt Baker over as a really good girlfriend. Adam Cole was like dying and Britt Baker was there. What kind of... So, Britt Baker's not going to get booed. And Jamie Hayter, do I even need to say anything? She's probably the best women's wrestler on the roster. Wrestler, period, on the roster. The current champion that everybody wanted. Jamie Hayter doesn't have any heat. She's just in stasis right now, but she's still technically a heel. Maybe she doesn't know how to be a babyface. Who knows? Compare that to Saraya, who since her debut has cut promos that have not landed really. Not really. Because being with the WWE for so long trains you to do scripted promos. So once you're taken out of that environment and put into this one, where the promos are unscripted and you're on your own, I feel like it's kind of gotten to her, and she's had so promos, but it was nice to. It's nice that she's there. She's not a bad wrestler. I'm not going to go that far. Just saying, just her as a babyface has been unconvincing. I'll just say that. And last week she stabs Sheeta in the back in front of her by picking Toni Storm as her partner. So no reason to cheer Saraya right now. And Toni Storm is just Toni Storm, I guess. She didn't do anything wrong or really. She's just sort of there. Former champion, whatever. So yeah, like it's ass backwards, and people watch it because they like Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Can I tell you guys? And I'm a Jamie Hayter fan. I love watching her. She's great. Can I tell you the issue I see? This is the issue I see with Jamie Hayter. Okay. Jamie Hayter is the most over female wrestler on the roster, I think. And she got over from pure in-ring charisma. Like, she's a very good worker. She makes shit look good. She lays it in. But outside of that, there really isn't anything notable that I can think of that would cement her as a key player in the company. So the danger I can't think of any interesting angles. I can't think of any in-ring promos that were memorable, if she just done any in-ring promos at all. She doesn't really have a gimmick. She's sort of just a wrestler. She's been tethered to Britt Baker this whole time. Even as champion, she still plays second fiddle to Britt Baker. It just... And the danger I see in that is all that has to happen is another wrestler comes in that does those things a little better than Jamie Hayter, and Jamie Hayter is completely forgotten about. The aura of Jamie Hayter is gone the moment somebody gets in there. Maybe somebody who demands in-ring promo time and knocks it out of the park. Somebody who demands more to not be on at 9:20, the death spot, and Jamie Hayter is forgotten about. So she's vulnerable in that way. And I don't think it's the fault of her. I think she should be more aggressive and, asking for more opportunities. But just from a vulnerability standpoint, it's not going to take much to knock her off her perch. And I don't want to see that happen. I want her to be a success story for AEW. Which currently it seems that way, but I don't know. Time will tell. They gotta break her away from Britt Baker and fast. They gotta turn her babyface in soon. But I've never seen her as a babyface. Like, I've went back and I looked at some of her old indie stuff. I don't think she's ever done babyface. So yeah, we'll see. So that's the Jamie Hayter segment. I'm trying to think of what else we could talk about. We could talk about something outside of wrestling. I want to keep this going until 11 o'clock, and I got through everything in like a half hour. So that's all the material I got. So I'm just going to do some searches real quick. We could talk about the rest of Dynamite, I guess. So Wrestle Talk video about the lawsuit. We could talk about how boring Raw is. Boy, oh boy. Oh, Polana has a new... video. Just so I could bury the hatchet on the Polana thing. I'll watch his... Oh, it was a Khan interview. Ariel. Okay, we'll do Polana first. Here we go.
The WWE drama continues as there is a new potential buyer of the company, and that is the Khan family. Tony Khan could really become the new owner of the WWE, and this is big news. According to a news report from Barron's, the sister publication of Wall Street Journal, the Khans are very interested, and here is what the article...
I don't know why I did...
All Elite Wrestling, the top rival to WWE, led by Tony Khan and family, is in the pool of potential buyers for WWE. A person close to the potential transaction told Barron's, adding that the Khans will likely look for a financial partner to acquire the assets. Tony Khan's father, Shahid Khan, a co-owner of AEW, already owns the football team Jacksonville Jaguars and the English soccer club Fulham's Football Club.
I was waiting for the time for the blacksmith shop to open.
Just imagine how crazy the internet would react to this news if it actually took place. I think
again, we're back at square one if that happens. It's not gonna happen.
Would be
I don't buy
the
it.
Plot twist in professional wrestling history. It would definitely be the greatest payoff in wrestling history as well. Just imagine Tony Khan talking all that crap about WWE just to finally buy them. Like, goddamn. Even though I'm not a huge fan of AEW and its product over the course of the last couple of years, I think this seems like it's the most interesting possibility because
Blacksmith
Tony Khan is a true wrestling fan at the end of the day, and he would be much better than Saudi Arabia, Disney, or any of those other corporations that are simply interested in the profits.
I have some geodes for you.
Than that, especially, they don't care about the product whatsoever. It's all about the money. As a wrestling fan, this is what I would want to actually see. Even if they were to buy it, I don't think Tony Khan would really take over the WWE, to completely be honest with you. I feel like he would definitely continue to work on his All Elite Wrestling company. However, we would probably see AEW and WWE work together. There would be crossover events, and wrestlers would jump over from the different promotions. And Tony Khan would even be able to utilize the Performance Center in the WWE for his talent, and also work with the deep team that the WWE currently employs. Now, the question is, what are the chances of this actually happening? I don't think it is that likely. In fact, they're probably the least likely people to purchase the company, because I have a feeling McMahon won't sell to a company that would not keep him in his position as the chairman of the company or have some sort of creative control. I think Tony Khan would be the type of person to fire Vince McMahon and then run the WWE with Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, William Regal, and Nick Khan. With that being said, I don't see this happening. However, there's still some sort of possibility, so it is worth mentioning. Like I previously stated, this would be the best possible outcome for the wrestling community. We need a real wrestling fan to run the company. Tony Khan would be the right choice. Well, at least a better choice than any of the other corporations. Therefore, I find myself rooting for Tony Khan. What a world, what a turn of events. I hope him and his father find the right partners and they get the deal done.
I'm telling you.
Just buying the company from Vince would be the biggest W of Tony Khan's life. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And let me know your thoughts on Tony Khan.
What do I do with the Geodes?
The WWE.
Oh, God. All right. Let's listen to Tony spout some shit, spout some facts. Just kidding. He's probably going to sell me something.
AEW in particular, because I interviewed your dad in London.
Rich Eisen. Never heard of him.
In fact, on NFL Network a few years ago, and asked him about AEW, and I got the sense that you had to twist his arm a little bit. That he wasn't like, why are we taking on WWE? Like, why are we doing? Like, is it possible to do that? What gave you this light bulb over your head to go ahead and create AEW?
Well, Tony? There were a number of factors.
Tony Khan wanted to book wrestling. That's why AEW.
I thought for years there should be competition in pro wrestling, and I felt like there was an opportunity with the TV space that, given what was happening with TV rights, to launch a new wrestling company, there would be a lot of interest. And frankly, there were a lot of wrestlers in 2019 that were going to be available to launch a wrestling company with. Chris Jericho is a huge name.
Sorry, I need to use the screen.
Agent,
actually, no, I'll just use the other one.
I started having really serious conversations with Chris Jericho, and there was this great group of wrestlers wrestling for Ring of Honor that I began speaking to. At the time, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, a number of others, and together we got a wrestling company going. And in 2019 there was really, as I predicted, big demand for the television, and we ended up with this great show, Wednesday Night Dynamite, on TBS every week, and now we have a second show, Friday Night Rampage, on TNT, which is great. So it's amazing how quickly it's grown. But my dad actually, you're correct, he was not a believer in it.
My sense was I picked up what he was putting down.
He did.
Pretty much. Now, did you ever get a message from Stamford, Connecticut, home of the World Wrestling Entertainment and Federation, whatever you want to call them? Did you ever get a message from them? Don't try this. Think twice.
No, not like that. No, I think the competition's been really good for the sport, and I think for wrestling fans, we've seen there's more people watching wrestling.
The screen keeps flashing because I keep clicking away.
Great. There's a bigger audience for everybody. It's a bigger pie, and I think AEW has really done some.
I feel like here's my issue, and it's not a huge issue. Well, it might be. AEW is a decent product. Here's the problem. It doesn't really have a goal. The goal, as I understand it, is to put on a, quote, smorgasbord of matches. I don't know if this business model, if this style of presentation is good for the company. I feel like it has to have like a cohesive vision. Like, this is what we want to do. Like, one thing that I thought was obvious, and I don't know why they're not doing it, is we have to realize that 10 million people used to watch this shit. And they're not anymore. And the audience that is watching is getting older. So the goal, I think, should be to recapture that audience if you can and get a new audience. But so far, the audience that they've garnered is only people on the IWC. And some of the people that stick around after the Big Bang Theory. I don't see them growing the wrestling fan base. Like, wrestling is back down to a niche thing. Like, I don't come across any wrestling fans in real life. Maybe like like I can count on one hand how many wrestling fans I've met in real life. You know, AEW can't just pander to the IWC. There's nothing wrong with catering to your fan base, but there also has to be some outreach, you know? And I feel like that's where AEW fails to live up to that idea. So yeah.
Some of the best shows in all of wrestling, we built these big franchises.
Right.
We have pay-per-views. We've had Double or Nothing, which we started in Las Vegas, and it's become a great tradition. Now it's at T-Mobile Arena. It started at MGM Grand in 2019. And then we've got All Out around Chicago area, Labor Day weekend. Full Gear, we just had a really huge event at Prudential Center where the Devils play.
You got AEW Revolution on March the 5th at Chase Center, the 4th iteration
of
and AEW Revolution.
Coming around, and we have these 4 big quarterly events. We also launched a 5th big event on pay-per-view, Forbidden Door, which is a partnership between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
So we've partnered with companies a lot. So it's really interesting what's happening out there in the marketplace of wrestling right now, but certainly AEW, one of the leaders in the sport.
It's really unbelievable because I
remember. I need a backpack.
Who did we have here at the outset of AEW's creation?
Chris Jericho?
We had
Cody Rhodes.
We had both of them, but didn't we have I'm forgetting, we had somebody else who when he appeared on AEW, like WWE said, yeah, you can't come here now. Was it Kevin Smith? Wasn't it him?
Oh, that's
he was on the initial episode.
Kevin Smith.
Wasn't that Kevin Smith?
It was Kevin Smith. He was with Jericho. They came in and did an
they did it together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you have definitely, Tony, overcome quite a bit.
2,000 gold.
God
There's
damn
no
question about it. Where does it go from here?
So that's my goal. Get to 2,000 gold.
It's funny. I think we can go to where, first of all, we've got something special. You know, doing a show every week, you know firsthand like what it is to do daily, weekly shows, and that we built something special. Now we have this audience where it's appointment viewing for so many people around the world. Wednesday nights for Dynamite, now on TBS here in America, but it's also on all over the world. You know, we're the worldwide leader in markets. Like, for example, in England, we have the biggest TV audience by far because AEW on ITV. We have this great audience and a great partnership.
Yeah.
You know, we have great audience in Canada on TSN and different places all over. But certainly here in America, you know, it's the way the opportunity, I think you'd appreciate this because I've known socially, I ran into you. First, I told you I was a big fan when my dad bought the Jaguars, probably almost 12 years ago. And, you know, it's funny. I was at a party, and at the time, my friend Kevin Riley was the president of TBS and TNT.
Right.
And basically in 2018, I went up to him and said, hey, Kev, I have this idea. I was going to ask, are you looking at TV rights right now? And he was. And
where's Clint?
He thought wrestling TV rights was really interesting, and the idea of starting a wrestling company, I pitched to him at a cocktail party in April 2018, and that's kind of how this all got started. Very close out here in LA.
I love it. And again, I don't want to create anything, but just to get an idea of the father-son relationship.
Where's Clint?
Have you said the 4 words? Or are you comfortable saying the 4 words to your dad? I told you so. Have you said those 4 words?
Not in so many words.
Did I just say it for you? I mean,
no, I think he said it for himself. What's amazing is there'd be no need to do that because my dad actually, in Forbes, no less, and in other places, multiple major media outlets has gone out and said he sees now it was a great idea and he was wrong. And one of the outlets, he actually said,
behind the counter,
this is a great lesson in parenting.
Used to work on the Anvil.
Sometimes you should trust your kids. And so that's great, I thought.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku.
Okay, at least he didn't fucking try to sell me shit like he usually does. Anyway. What else should we talk about? I don't have anything else. I guess there's something going on. Let's look at Twitter real quick, just to see if anything's happening. CM Punk responded to MJF's Instagram post, and MJF covered CM Punk's name for the Feud of the Year award with his own, and Punk said maybe find some tape for the ratings so nobody sees those either. Ouch. The Punk MJF feud was probably one of the best feuds they had. Probably one of the best feuds in wrestling in a long time. So any wrestling podcasts we can listen to? That don't concern like the sale and shit. Sorry. Oh, Neogex. How you guys do tonight? If there's anyone here. I'm actually not sure. I just want to open my dashboard. Dashboard. Can I please? Oh, there we go. There's one guy in here. I know you're here. Trying to think of what else we could watch. Anything interesting going on in the world to talk about? Because I want to have this stream go until 11. I'm actually a big DGG mark or Destiny mark. So because I like I think anybody who's seen my videos knows that I like to use his format to format my videos. I think it's really effective. So yeah, that's why I straight up copy it. Yeah, it was this thing about Ubisoft I wanted to look at. Oh, I know what we can talk about. Okay, this is going to be controversial. DK Oldies. So, if you don't know, DK Oldies is a video game online store where you can buy different types of retro video game items, like old consoles, games, accessories, the like. And they make a lot of shorts, TikToks, showing orders being prepared, cleaned, and shipped out. And they're all really well done. They're cute videos. There's also like nostalgia videos, like, oh, the sounds of the PS2 or the powering on consoles. And they're all really well done. And like, they don't seem all that evil. But one look at the prices and your head will explode. Anybody who's in the retro gaming market... Let me just change the title of this real quick. Actually, no, I'll leave it as is. Anybody who's familiar with the online gaming market, or the retro game market, knows basically what the price is. They use price charting or eBay prices to see what stuff is worth. DK Oldies fucking marks up that shit by like 3 times. Like a Wii that comes with a controller, an OEM controller, and all the cables you need to hook it up. All that shit costs maybe $60. Not even in some cases. DK Oldies will legit sell you... Let's go to the website real quick. let's pull this screen here so we can look. DK Oldies. Just do a little. Yeah. So fucking a Wii fucking bundle that comes with, and it's not, and there's no pictures of each unit. It's just like the fucking stuff. The stock image shows a Wii and an OEM controller, meaning manufacturer controller, Nintendo Wii remotes. $130. And they always do this thing where they have the price in red here with the line going through this to make you think you're getting a good deal. And sometimes I've heard people say that they don't always come with OEM controllers. They come with like Nyko controllers. It's super weird. And like, I don't know why they do this. Let's look at some others. PS2, $210. Dude, let's go to Facebook Marketplace. Fucking PS2 Slim. Live search right now. $75. What does this come with? Is it just the console? Alright, fine. $90. What do we got? Yeah, full set. $90. Let's do eBay. I'll do a couple. PS2 Slim. 115. 180. Some of these are fucking steep. Let's try Mercari. Because that again, $90 minimum is what I found. 70 for just the console. Let's see. PS2 Slim. $55. What's the condition? Yeah, $55. This is probably broken. $60. Point is $210. Bro. So a lot of people look at this and figure they're a scam. And I'm inclined to agree, but I'm also inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, so one thing that I'm highly speculating here. So it's weird to me that all the people that work there, because they've done videos of like with all the employees that work for them, and it's like in the middle of Pennsylvania somewhere. I think Morgantown, pretty sure. And they're all like nerdy young people, but you'd think that one of them would like take one look at the prices and go, I won't stand for this. I know what the prices are. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. You know, I'll say something. It never happens. And the reason why I think it never happens is because I think all the people you see in these videos are related in some capacity. Like, he did say it's a family-run business. So I think a lot of the people, I think the people who work for this company are family members or friends of family members. I don't think this company hires people like off the street. I think I don't think so. And I think the prices are like this. So there's two sides to this, and both could be the case. The first is they can charge this price because they don't target the online retro gaming community that know their shit, you know. $185, bro. Sorry. Oh, I want to see. Hold on. I want to see their GameCube pack. Hang on. 175 with a non-OEM controller. Original black controller plus $40. $40 for an OEM controller, dude. Anyway, sidetracked. There's two angles to that. The first is they charge that price because they target normies, like on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. They don't target the online gaming community, right? They target normies who don't know anything about retro game collecting and want to help people or sell their consoles using nostalgic clips. And it's really effective but it's misleading in the sense that like these are not market value prices. Just one eBay search will show you that. The second angle to this is in the videos I see a lot of things happening. Like there's shipping, they ship worldwide. There's, the facility, there's, taxes, paying employees, probably employee benefits. So a part of me is like, yeah, they're just scamming people, scamming normies using shorts. But another part of me is like, this is probably what they have to charge to make a profit. And I'm being charitable, but just because they've, received death threats, and nobody should receive death threats, obviously. The retro game business is a very hard business to run. Like I know some people who say like oh, like if you ask them like, what's your advice on getting into the retro game business, they're always like, don't do it. It's a really hard business to run. Super hard to keep people happy. Super expensive. Like, and a lot of their shit, and it's like you also pay for like the premium services. A lot there have been examples that the YouTubers have made where it's like things slip through the cracks. RT USA made a video. Hang on a minute. RT USA. Connect to the internet. Oh, never mind. Hang on. Yeah. So I'll just mute this. But I wanted to show you Rich here, our friend Rich. Yeah, he's fine. Here in the corner, there's a chip off this console. So if you're charging people that high a price and you get shit like this, and what's funny about this is, hang on a minute. They have a video, this one, and he's holding NESs. That's so funny. So in the video, he's showing you where all the broken shit goes. So shit that's not fixable. And there has to be a lid of a Nintendo console they could have taken from the graveyard, as they call it, and used it on Rich's console. There's no way. I don't know how this happened. One thing I do appreciate, though, that they do is the resurfacing machines are really valuable, and saving games is good, saving consoles is good, but there's no excuse for this. So, yeah. Hold on a minute. Oh, my preview. Oh shit. How long was it like that? Fucking A. How long was it like that? I hope not long. Because I know I didn't switch that. Maybe let me turn off the left side. Yeah, I wonder how long it was like that. But yeah, DK Olies, bro, do better. Again, could just be the cost of doing business. But yeah, I don't know why they would do that. One thing that since we're on this topic, retro game collecting is really hard. It's really hard. Like look behind me, I have a whole collection back there. Takes a long time to accrue that. Like the one thing I have learned, don't bulk purchase everything. Like space this shit out slowly until you have like the collection you want. And like I thought a lot about this. Jesus. Shit, sorry. I thought a lot about this. I don't play a whole lot of the games I collect. And for a while I thought if that was a bad thing or not. But I realized like I'm trying to think of who I'm depriving of the retro game experience. Because let's say like you're talking about a game like Pokemon Emerald. So I have Pokemon Emerald sitting on the shelf. It's been sitting on the shelf for a long time. So you might be saying, well, dude, why is it sitting on the shelf? So that could be being played right now. It's like, that's true, but Pokemon Emerald costs $150. I don't think somebody seeking nostalgia by playing Pokemon Emerald is going to spend $150 to do it. I think they're going to, use an emulator or something. Yeah, I don't know where Clint is. Yeah, so I think I'm going to end the stream a little early tonight, just because I want to keep everybody entertained, and I've sort of run out of things to say, and also want to make sure that black screen wasn't there for too long. So thank you all so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you. I will put a video up of some of the stuff I talked about on stream. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.